John Miller stood at the window of the space station and looked at the stars. For years he had dreamed of traveling beyond the solar system. Humans had finally built ships that could go faster than light. They were ready to join whatever civilizations waited out there in the darkness of space. John was the captain of Earth's best ship, the USS Defiant. He and his crew were supposed to be the first to visit another star. Then the aliens came. The alien ship appeared without warning. It was large and silver, shaped like a smooth teardrop. It moved into orbit around Earth and sat there, silent for 3 days. People on Earth were afraid. Some wanted to attack the ship. Others wanted to welcome the aliens. John's superiors told him to wait and watch. On the 4th day, the alien ship sent a message. It came through on all radio channels, all television stations, all computer networks. The message was in perfect English. Humans of Earth, we are representatives of the Galactic Council. We have been watching your planet for some time. The Council has studied your history and your nature. You have been classified as a Category 4 species. This means you are dangerous and cannot be trusted. Your aggressive tendencies and competitive nature make you a threat to galactic peace. Your planet is now under quarantine. You may not leave. Your solar system, any ship attempting to go beyond the orbit of Pluto will be destroyed. This is not a negotiation. John watched the message with his crew. Susan Adams, his communications officer, looked up from her screen with wide eyes. Captain, they've stopped transmitting, but I'm picking up energy readings all around Earth's orbit. They're deploying something. John frowned and turned to his science officer, Don White. What are they putting up there? Don studied his instruments. Some kind of satellites, sir. Hundreds of them. They're forming a network around the whole planet. The energy readings are off the charts. John hit the communication button on his chair. Get me Admiral Brown at Earth Command. Within hours, Earth's military and political leaders gathered for an emergency meeting. Some joined in person at the United Nations building in New York. Others, like John, joined by secure video link from their posts around the solar system. Admiral Kate Brown spoke first. Her face was serious on the big screen. As you all know, an alien vessel has placed Earth under quarantine. Their technology appears to be far beyond ours. The satellites they've deployed form some kind of barrier. Our scientists are still trying to understand how it works. The president of the United World Council stood up. She was a tall woman with gray hair and a stern face. Have they responded to our attempts at communication? No, Madam President, said Admiral Brown. They sent their message and have ignored all our responses. General Paul Johnson slammed his fist on the table. So they judge our entire species without even talking to us? Based on what? Old television shows? They don't know us. Dr. Lisa Wright, Earth's top expert on possible alien life, raised her hand. If I may, General. It's not unusual in nature for established ecosystems to reject new predators. If the Galactic Council operates as a group mind, they might see humans as a threat because we're so individualistic. We compete with each other. We sometimes fight. To a hive mind type of intelligence that might seem dangerous and unpredictable. So what do we do? Asked the president. Just accept this alien quarantine? Let them cage us in our own solar system after we've worked so hard to reach the stars? The room fell silent. John Miller cleared his throat and spoke up from his video screen. Madam President, I believe we need more information. We need to understand who these aliens are, how their technology works, and what this Galactic Council really is. Maybe they're right to be cautious about us. Our history isn't perfect. But they should at least talk to us, get to know us, before they lock us away. The president nodded slowly. Captain Miller is right. Our first priority is information gathering. Admiral Brown, I want our best scientists working on understanding those satellites. Dr. Wright, form a team to study everything we know about the alien ship and try to learn more about their biology and culture. General Johnson, assess our military options, but do not take any aggressive action. As the meeting continued, no one noticed the small drone hovering near the ceiling. It was the size of a fly, almost invisible to the naked eye. It recorded everything said in the room and transmitted it back to the alien ship. On the ship, 3 aliens watched the humans through the drone's eyes. They were tall, with blue skin and large black eyes. They had no hair, and their faces were smooth and expressionless. "They are reacting as expected," said the first alien. "Confusion, anger, then strategic planning, yes," said the second. The Category 4 assessment was correct. They immediately think of military options. The third alien touched a control panel. "I have increased power to the quarantine net. No human ship will be able to pass through." "What about their faster-than-light technology?" asked the first alien. "Primitive," said the third. "It would never work beyond their solar system anyway. Their understanding of physics is incomplete." Back on Earth, the days turned into weeks. Scientists studied the alien satellites but couldn't figure out how they worked. The alien ship remained in orbit, silent and watching. John Miller spent his time reviewing everything humans knew about space travel. He studied the alien ship through powerful telescopes. He read reports from scientists and military analysts. Something about the situation bothered him, but he couldn't put his finger on what it was. One night, unable to sleep, John was looking at star charts in his quarters when Susan Adams called him. "Captain, you need to see this," she said. "One of our deep space probes just sent back some strange readings." John hurried to the control room where Susan showed him the data. Before the aliens arrived, Earth had sent unmanned probes in all directions. One of them, near the edge of the solar system, had detected something odd. "It's like a hole in space," Susan explained. "Something is bending light around that area." "Another alien ship?" John asked. "I don't think so. The energy signature is different. And look at this pattern." Susan pointed to a series of energy pulses. "It's repeating, almost like a signal," John finished. "Someone's trying to contact us secretly." They brought the discovery to Admiral Brown, who immediately called another secret meeting. This time they were careful to sweep the room for hidden devices. "It could be a trap," warned General Johnson. "Or it could be help," said Dr. Wright. The alien said they represented the Galactic Council. "That implies there are other alien species out there. Maybe not all of them agree with this quarantine." The president made her decision. "Captain Miller, take the Defiant and investigate this signal. Be careful. Don't engage unless you're absolutely sure it's safe." 3 days later, the USS Defiant quietly left Earth orbit, using the moon to hide from the alien ship. They traveled slowly, using minimal power to avoid detection by the quarantine satellites. It took them 2 weeks to reach the source of the signal. What they found changed everything. It wasn't an alien ship waiting for them. It was a small device, about the size of a basketball, floating in space. When the Defiant approached, the device projected a hologram, another alien, but not like the blue-skinned ones who had quarantined Earth. This alien looked almost like a large insect with 6 limbs and compound eyes. "Greetings, humans," the hologram said. "I am Krell of the Outsiders. We have much to discuss. The Galactic Council does not speak for all species in the galaxy, and you are not alone in being judged unfairly." John Miller stared at the hologram, hope rising in his chest for the first time since the quarantine began. Earth now had a potential ally, and the fight to break free was just beginning. 6 months passed since the Galactic Council put Earth under quarantine. The blue aliens watched Earth closely from their ship. They had allowed humans to keep using the space station and to travel to the moon and Mars, but any ship that tried to go farther was turned back by the energy field from the satellites. Many people on Earth were angry, but there was nothing they could do against the advanced alien technology. Or so the aliens thought. Deep under the ocean, in a secret base built into the seafloor, humans were working on a plan. The base was called Deep Harbor, and it housed Earth's brightest minds. Engineers, scientists, computer experts, and military strategists all worked together in secret. They were led by Commander Eric Foster, a tall man with short gray hair and serious eyes. "Show me the latest test results," Eric said to Dr. Amy Nelson, the lead scientist on the project. Amy pulled up a video on the big screen in the main lab. It showed a small probe floating in a test chamber. Blue energy, similar to the alien's barrier, surrounded the probe. Then the probe seemed to flicker and vanish, reappearing on the other side of the energy field. "It worked," Amy said with a smile. "The phase shifter lets the probe pass through the barrier by moving it slightly out of sync with normal space-time. It's like slipping between the cracks in a fence." Eric nodded but didn't smile. "Can we scale it up? Will it work on a real ship?" "In theory, yes, but we need more power. And we need to test it against the actual alien barrier, not just our copy." Eric turned to another scientist, Dr. Ben Harris. "What about the communication problem? Can we talk to ships once they're out of phase?" Ben shook his head. "Not yet. When a ship is using the phase shifter, regular radio won't work. We're developing a new system, but it's not ready." Eric frowned. This was a problem. If they sent a ship through the barrier using the phase shifter, they wouldn't be able to talk to it until it came back. The ship would be completely on its own. Meanwhile, another team at Deep Harbor was studying the alien message that had been sent by the outsider named Krell, Lieutenant. Olivia Martinez led this team. She had analyzed every word and image in the message. "The outsiders are different from the Galactic Council aliens," Olivia explained to Eric. "They don't believe in the strict rules and categories the Council uses. From what Krell told us, the Council is made up of species that think as groups, not as individuals. They live in hives or have shared minds. They don't understand humans. Because we think for ourselves. So they fear what they don't understand," Eric said. "Exactly, but the outsiders are more like us. They value individual thought. They've been watching Earth for years, just like the Council has. But they see our creativity and adaptability as good things, not dangerous things." Eric considered this information. "Can we trust these outsiders? Maybe this is a trick by the Council to test us." Olivia shook her head. "I don't think so. The communication method was too secret, too careful. And the outsiders have given us valuable information about how the Council's technology works. That's how we were able to develop the phase shifter." Eric made his decision. It was time to take the next step in their plan. He called a meeting with Admiral Brown and the President. "We're ready for a test mission," Eric told them. "We've developed a way to get a ship past the alien barrier. We want to send the scout ship Eagle through to meet with the outsiders." "Admiral." Brown looked concerned. "Who would crew this mission? It would be extremely dangerous." "I've selected Captain Ryan Cooper," Eric said. "He's our best pilot and he's good at thinking on his feet. The mission would be simple. Get past the barrier, make contact with the outsiders, gather information, and come back." The President thought for a moment. "If the Council catches us trying to break the quarantine, they might take stronger action against Earth. That's why we'll do it during the solar storm next week," Eric explained. "Our scientists predict the storm will interfere with the alien sensors. They won't see the Eagle leave." After much discussion, the mission was approved. Captain Ryan Cooper was a young man with dark hair and steady hands. He had flown everything from fighter jets to space shuttles. When Eric told him about the mission, Ryan didn't hesitate. "I'll do it," he said. "Just tell me when." The small scout ship Eagle was prepared in secret. It was fitted with the experimental phase shifter and loaded with scientific equipment. The plan was for Ryan to fly alone. Less risk that way. The day of the solar storm came. The sun spat out huge flares of energy that washed over the solar system. On Earth, people saw northern lights even near the equator. In space, instruments went crazy from the radiation. It was the perfect cover. Ryan boarded the Eagle and took off from a hidden launch pad in the mountains. The ship was small and fast, barely big enough for one person plus the equipment. He flew straight up, quickly leaving Earth behind. The blue alien ship was on the far side of the planet, hidden by Earth itself. If everything went according to plan, they wouldn't detect the Eagle at all. As Ryan approached the barrier, he activated the phase shifter. The ship's lights flickered and Ryan felt a strange sensation, like his body was buzzing. Outside the window, space seemed to ripple and bend. Phase shift activated, Ryan reported through his radio. Approaching the barrier now. Back at Deep Harbor, Eric and his team watched anxiously. This was the moment of truth. Would their technology work against the real alien barrier? On the Eagle, Ryan held his breath as the ship reached the line of satellites. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the view outside his window twisted strangely. Stars seemed to smear across the black sky. Ryan felt sick to his stomach. The ship shuddered violently, then suddenly everything was calm again. Ryan looked at his instruments. He had passed the barrier. He was beyond the quarantine line. It worked, he shouted into his radio. I'm through, but there was no answer. As expected, the phase shift had cut off his communications. Ryan was on his own now. He checked his position and set course for the coordinates where the outsiders had said they would meet him. For 3 days, Ryan flew through space. He had never been this far from Earth. No human had. He passed the orbit of Pluto and kept going. Finally, his sensors detected something ahead. A ship, much smaller than the council vessel, waited for him. It was shaped like a leaf, thin and curved, with a surface that shimmered with rainbow colors. Ryan approached cautiously. A beam of light shot out from the alien ship and touched the Eagle. Ryan tensed, ready for trouble, but instead a voice came through his speakers. Greetings, human Ryan Cooper. I am Krell of the Outsiders. Welcome to free space. A door opened on the side of the alien ship, revealing a docking bay. Ryan carefully guided the Eagle inside. When he stepped out of his ship, he came face with Krell. The alien looked like a cross between an insect and a dolphin, with a sleek body, multiple limbs, and compound eyes that reflected Ryan's own image back at him. You took great risk coming here, Krell said through a translator device. The council would be very angry if they knew. Earth has been imprisoned for no good reason, Ryan replied. We need to understand why and how we can change their minds. Krell made a gesture that might have been a nod. Come, there is much to discuss. You are not the first species the council has quarantined, and you will not be the last unless something changes. As Ryan followed Krell into the ship, he knew this meeting would change the future of Earth forever. Humanity had taken its first step toward fighting back against the Galactic Council, and they now had allies in that fight. Ryan sat in a room inside the outsider ship that seemed alive. The walls glowed with soft light and changed colors as Krell spoke. Other aliens had joined them too. Some looked almost like humans, but with purple skin and 6 fingers on each hand. Others were very different, like the floating cloud of tiny crystals that somehow formed a thinking being. All of them were part of what Krell called the Outsider Alliance. The Galactic Council has ruled the stars for 50,000 years, Krell explained. They believe order is the most important thing in the universe. Every species must know its place and stay there. And our place is stuck in our own solar system, Ryan said. Yes, they put species in categories. Category 1 are the oldest species, who lead the council. Category 2 are their close allies. Category 3 are normal members with some rights. Category 4 are those considered dangerous but not immediate threats. And Category 5 are those marked for removal. Ryan felt cold. Removal? You mean they destroy entire species? Krell made a sad sound. Not often. But yes. If they decide a species will cause too much trouble, they remove them. 3 times in the last 10,000 years they have done this. One of the purple aliens spoke up. My people were almost Category 5. We escaped just in time and joined. The outsiders, Ryan looked around at the group. So you all live in secret, hiding from the council? We move constantly, Krell said. We have some planets far from council space. We have ships that can hide from their sensors. We trade with each other and build our own way of life. Free from council rules. How many of you are there? Ryan asked. 23 species in our alliance. Small compared to the council's hundreds. But we grow slowly, and now perhaps humans will join us. Ryan thought about Earth, trapped behind the alien barrier. We don't want to run away. We want the council to accept us, to let us travel freely. The crystal cloud being made a tinkling sound that the translator turned into words. A council does not change its mind easily. They have been this way for so long, they cannot imagine any other way. Then we need to show them another way, Ryan said firmly. We need to prove humans aren't a threat. Krell touched a panel on the wall, and a map of the galaxy appeared in the air. The council has many weaknesses. They rely on standard technology. That has not changed much in thousands of years. They make decisions slowly because they must agree as a group. And they do not understand species like yours that think as individuals. Ryan studied the map. It showed the council's territory, which covered most of the galaxy. The outsider areas were small spots near the edges or hidden in empty regions between stars. What about their ships? Their weapons? Ryan asked. Their ships are powerful but predictable. They use quantum entanglement for communication. All their systems are connected. It makes them strong as a group but weak if the network is disrupted. Ryan thought about what he had learned about the barrier around Earth. So, if we could interfere with their communication network, they would be confused, slow to respond. Each ship would have to make decisions alone, which they are not good at, Krell finished, for hours. Ryan talked with the outsiders. They shared information about council technology, culture, and weaknesses. In return, Ryan told them about Earth, about human creativity and adaptability. The outsiders seemed impressed by stories of how quickly humans had developed technology and how they worked together while still thinking as individuals. Finally, Krell gave Ryan a small device. This will help you find us again. It also contains technical information about council systems that your scientists can use. Ryan carefully stored the device in his ship. Thank you for your help. I need to return to Earth now and report what I've learned. Krell walked Ryan back to the Eagle. Be careful, human Ryan. The council watches Earth closely. If they catch you, they will know you have met us. That would be dangerous for everyone. Ryan nodded and prepared his ship for the journey home. The phase shifter had recharged during his stay with the outsiders. He would need it to pass back through the barrier around Earth. The trip back was tense. Ryan kept checking his sensors for any sign of council ships. He followed a path the outsiders had suggested, staying away from known patrol routes. As he approached the solar system, he activated the phase shifter again. The familiar buzzing sensation filled his body as the Eagle slipped between normal space and somewhere else. He passed through the barrier without being detected and headed straight for the hidden landing site in the mountains. As soon as he landed, a team rushed out to meet him. They took him immediately to Deep Harbor, where Commander Foster and Admiral Brown were waiting. Did you make contact? Eric asked as soon as Ryan entered the room. Yes, sir. I met with several species from the Outsider Alliance. They gave us valuable information in this device. Ryan handed over the alien technology Krell had given him. Admiral Brown looked pleased. Well done, Captain Cooper. What did you learn about the Council? Ryan told them everything about his meeting with the Outsiders. He explained the category system, the Council's weaknesses, and the possibility of disrupting their communication network. As he spoke, Eric's face grew more serious. So they've destroyed entire species before, Eric said quietly when Ryan finished. We need to be very careful. If they reclassify us as Category 5... all the more reason to act quickly, Admiral Brown said. We need to develop a plan based on this new information. Dr. Amy Nelson examined the alien device. This is amazing. The technical data alone will advance our understanding by decades. I think we can use this to improve the phase shifter and build more ships that can pass through the barrier. For the next month, the team at Deep Harbor worked non-stop. They built 3 more ships with phase shifters, each one better than the last. They studied the Council's communication network and found ways to interfere with it. They even developed special weapons that could disable Council ships without destroying them. Earth was preparing to show the Galactic Council that humans would not accept being prisoners in their own solar system. But they had to be careful. A direct attack would only prove the Council right about humans being dangerous. Then one day, an opportunity presented itself. The Council ship in orbit around Earth received a visitor. A new alien vessel arrived, larger and more impressive than The first one. The humans monitored the communication between the ships. High Inspector Zorath arrives to evaluate the Earth quarantine, a message announced. All records will be reviewed. The humans will be assessed for compliance. Commander. Eric called an emergency meeting. This could be our chance. If this High Inspector is important, the Council will be paying special attention to what happens here. We can show them who humans really are. What are you suggesting? Admiral Brown asked. Not an attack, Eric said. Something unexpected. The Council thinks we're violent and dangerous. Let's show them we're not what they think. The team began to form a plan. It would be risky. If it failed, Earth might be reclassified as Category 5, but if it worked, it might change how the Galactic Council saw humans forever. Ryan volunteered to lead the mission. I've met the outsiders. I know more about the Council than anyone else. Here, let me do this. Admiral Brown looked at the young captain and nodded. Very well. Assemble your crew. You leave in 3 days. As Ryan left the meeting, he felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. The future of Earth would depend on what happened next. He only hoped the Council was capable of changing its mind about humans. The new Council ship was 5 times larger than the first one. It hung in orbit like a giant silver spider, with long arms extending from a central body. Earth's leaders watched it nervously from their command centers. High Inspector Zorath had come to evaluate the quarantine, and nobody knew what that meant for Earth. In Deep Harbor, Ryan Cooper prepared his crew for their mission. The ship they would use was called the Nova, a new vessel built using the knowledge gained from the outsiders. It had the best phase shifter yet and special equipment designed to interfere with Council communications. The crew was small, just 5 people chosen for their skills and quick thinking. Kelly Peterson was the navigator, a quiet woman who could plot courses through space better than any computer. Ben Martinez handled communications, able to decode and understand any signal. Sarah Wilson was the engineer who knew every part of the ship's systems. And Frank Lee was the science officer and expert on the alien technology they had learned from. The outsiders. Ryan gathered them in the ship's main room. Our mission is not to fight the Council, he explained. We need to show them humans are not what they think we are. The plan has 3 parts. First, we slip past the barrier using the phase shifter. Second, we use the outsider device to tap into the Council's communication network without being detected. And third, we find a way to demonstrate that humans can be helpful, not harmful. Kelly looked concerned. What's the third part exactly? How do we show them we're helpful? Ryan smiled. We're going to save some lives. He pulled up a star map on the screen. The outsiders told me about a small Council outpost here, near a star that's becoming unstable. The star will send out a massive flare in about 2 days. The Council knows this, but their relief ship won't arrive in time. We can get there first and help evacuate the outpost. The crew looked at each other. It was a risky plan. If the Council ships caught them, they might see it as an attack, not a rescue. It's dangerous, Ryan admitted. But it's a chance to show them who we really are. Any questions? There were none. The crew trusted Ryan and believed in the mission. They prepared to leave that night, during another solar storm that would help hide their departure. As they waited for launch time, Dr. Samantha Jones came to see Ryan. Samantha was Deep Harbor's expert on alien cultures. She had been studying all the information they had about the Council. I need to tell you something important, she said. I've been analyzing the Council's messages and behavior. I think their society is based entirely on rules and categories. They don't seem to understand change or growth. What do you mean? Ryan asked. I mean, they put species in categories and expect them to stay that way forever. They don't understand that living things can learn and change. That's why they're so afraid of humans. We adapt quickly. We're unpredictable. To them, that's not just strange, it's terrifying. Ryan thought about this. So we need to show them humans can change for the better. That we're not just violent and competitive. Exactly. Show them the human capacity for compassion and self-sacrifice. Show them we can put others first, even aliens who have imprisoned us. The time came for launch. The solar storm was beginning, sending waves of energy across the solar system. The Nova took off from Deep Harbor's underwater launch bay, rising through the ocean and then shooting up into the night sky dot as they approached the barrier. Ryan gave the order, "Activate phase shifter." The ship hummed as the device powered up. Space seemed to ripple around them, and then they were through, beyond the quarantine line. No alarms sounded. No council ships appeared to stop them. The plan was working so far. They flew fast, following the course Kelly had plotted to avoid council patrols. The outsider device helped them stay hidden, bending light around the ship to make it nearly invisible to sensors. After 18 hours of tense flying, they reached the star system with the council outpost. The star was an angry red giant, swollen and pulsing with energy. Orbiting it was a small planet where the council had built a research station. About 50 aliens worked there, studying the dying star. "Sensors show the star is very unstable," Frank reported. "The flare will happen in about 6 hours, sooner than we expected, and it will be bigger than predicted." Ryan looked at the data. "Will the council relief ship make it in time?" Frank shook his head. "No, they're still at least 10 hours away. If we don't help, everyone on that outpost will die." Ryan made his decision. "Take us in. Ben, prepare a message in the council language. Tell them we're here to help evacuate the station." The Nova approached the outpost. It was a dome-shaped building on the planet's surface, with several smaller structures around it. The planet had no atmosphere, just bare rock baking under the red star. Ben sent the message, and they waited anxiously for a response. Would the aliens accept help from humans? Or would they see it as a trick? After a long silence, a reply came. "Human vessel, this is Research Outpost 7. We do not understand why you are here or how you passed the quarantine. But our sensors confirm the star will flare soon. We accept your offer of assistance." Ryan felt relief wash over him. "Take us down. Sarah, prepare the ship to take on passengers." The Nova landed near the outpost. Through the viewports, Ryan could see aliens rushing around, gathering equipment and supplies. They were the blue-skinned type, like those who had first quarantined Earth. Ryan put on a spacesuit and went to the airlock. "I'll go talk to them. Sarah, get the ship ready for extra passengers. Frank, keep monitoring that star." Ryan stepped onto the planet's surface. The ground was hot under his boots, and the giant star filled half the sky. A blue alien approached him, wearing a suit with council markings. "I am lead researcher Vala," the alien said through a translator. "Why are humans helping us?" "Your species is quarantined." "Because it's the right thing to do," Ryan replied simply. "The flare will hit sooner than expected. Your relief ship won't arrive in time." "We can take everyone to safety." Vala's large black eyes studied Ryan. "You broke your quarantine to save council members? After we imprisoned your species?" "Yes, humans help others in danger. It's who we are." For a moment, Vala was silent, then the alien nodded. "We have 47 researchers and critical data that must be saved. Can your vessel carry so many?" "Yes, but we need to hurry." For the next 2 hours, Ryan and his crew helped the aliens board the Nova. They brought essential equipment and research materials. The star grew more unstable by the minute, shooting out smaller flares that made the ground shake. "Final group coming now," Ben reported from the ship. 3 minutes until the main flare hits." Ryan helped the last aliens board. As he turned to follow them, a tremor knocked him down. A piece of equipment fell, trapping his leg. He tried to pull free but couldn't move. Through his helmet radio, he heard Kelly's voice. "Captain, the flare is starting. We need to take off now." Ryan looked up at the red giant star. A massive bulge was forming on its surface, about to erupt toward the planet. He had maybe 2 minutes left. "Go!" he shouted into his radio. "Get the ship out of here! Save the aliens!" "We're not leaving you," Sarah's voice came back. Then he saw her running toward him in her spacesuit. Behind her came 2 of the blue aliens. Together they lifted the equipment off his leg and helped him toward the ship. They barely made it. As the Nova's doors closed, the star flare erupted, sending a wall of energy racing toward the planet. The ship took off, engines straining against the increasing gravity and radiation. "We're not going to outrun it," Kelly warned from the pilot's seat. One of the alien researchers stepped forward. "I can help. Our research was on solar dynamics. I know how to adjust your shields to deflect the radiation." With the aliens' help, they modified the Nova's systems. The flare hit them with tremendous force, but the shields held. The ship was thrown forward by the blast, tumbling through space until Kelly could regain control. When they finally stabilized, everyone on board looked at each other in amazement. Humans and Council aliens had just worked together to survive. And that changed everything. The Nova drifted in space while the crew made repairs. The star flare had damaged some systems, but nothing that couldn't be fixed. Inside the ship, something remarkable was happening. The Council aliens were talking with the humans, asking questions, sharing information. Lead researcher Vala seemed especially interested in learning about Earth. "Why did you risk your lives for us?" Vala asked Ryan. "We are the ones who put your planet under quarantine." Ryan thought about his answer carefully. "Humans help others in trouble. It's part of who we are. Yes, we can be competitive and sometimes aggressive, but we also care about life, all life. Not just our own kind." Vala's large eyes blinked slowly. "The Council has always seen humans as dangerous because you are unpredictable. You do not follow patterns we understand. But perhaps that unpredictability can be positive too." As they talked, the Nova's communication system picked up an urgent message. It was from the Council relief ship, still hours away. "Research Outpost 7, please respond. We detect the star flare has occurred. What is your status?" Ben looked at Ryan. "Should we answer them?" Ryan nodded. "Yes, tell them everyone is safe aboard our ship. Give them our coordinates so they can meet us." When the message was sent, Vala seemed surprised. "You are not trying to hide from the Council ships? They will surely take you prisoner for breaking quarantine." "We didn't come to start a fight," Ryan explained. "We came to show you who humans really are. Running away would defeat that purpose." Vala went to speak with the other researchers. They huddled together, talking quickly in their own language. After a while, Vala returned. "We have made a decision. When the Council ship arrives, we will speak for humans. We will tell them what you did for us. Perhaps it will change their view of your species." Ryan smiled. "Thank you. That's all we ask for, a chance to be judged by our actions, not by your fears." The hours passed. The Nova's crew worked with the alien researchers to finish repairs. They shared meals, stories, and ideas. Slowly, the fear and suspicion between them faded. By the time the Council relief ship appeared on their sensors, humans and aliens were working together like old friends. The relief ship was enormous, at least 20 times larger than the Nova. It approached cautiously, scanning the human vessel with powerful sensors. "Human ship, you have violated quarantine regulations. You will power down your engines and prepare to be boarded," came the stern message. Before Ryan could respond, Vala took over the communication system. "This is lead researcher Vala of Outpost 7. The humans have saved our entire research team. Without their help, we would all have died when the star flared ahead of predictions. I request direct communication with High Inspector Zorath." There was a long pause. Then a new voice came through, deeper and more commanding. "This is High Inspector Zorath. Explain yourself, Researcher Vala. Why are you aboard a human vessel?" Vala told the story of the rescue, explaining how the humans had risked their lives to save the research team. They knew the danger. They came anyway. When their captain was trapped, 2 of our researchers helped save him. We then worked together to survive the flare. "High Inspector, I believe the Council's assessment of humans may be incomplete." Another long silence followed. Finally, Zorath spoke again. "Captain of the human vessel, I wish to speak with you directly." Ryan stepped up to the communication panel. "This is Captain Ryan Cooper of Earth. Captain Cooper, you have violated the quarantine placed on your species. You have interfered with Council activities. These are serious offenses." Ryan took a deep breath. "With respect, High Inspector, we did what was necessary to save lives. If that's a crime in the Council's eyes, then perhaps your rules need to be reconsidered. Bold words from a Category 4 species, Zorath replied, but there was a note of curiosity in the alien's voice. Why did you reveal yourselves? You could have escaped after the rescue. Because we want the Council to know the truth about humans. We're not just violent or aggressive. We're explorers, helpers, problem solvers. We want to join the galactic community, not threaten it. There was a soft sound that might have been a sigh. Captain Cooper, power down your weapons and prepare for docking. You and your crew will come aboard my vessel along with the research team. We have much to discuss. Ryan looked at his crew. They all nodded. This was the moment they had been working toward. A chance to speak directly to the Council leadership. The Nova docked with the massive Council ship. Ryan and his crew were led through gleaming corridors to a large round room. High Inspector Zorath waited for them. The alien was taller than the others, with elaborate markings on its blue skin. Its eyes were deeper, older somehow. I have been reviewing the data from Outpost 7, Zorath said without greeting. It seems your actions saved 47 Council researchers and preserved years of valuable research. This is ... unexpected. Why is it unexpected that we would help? Kelly asked. Because you decided we were dangerous without really knowing us. Zorath's eyes narrowed. Your species has a violent history. You compete rather than cooperate. You question authority. These traits have led other species to destruction. They've also led us to our greatest achievements, Ryan countered. We question things so we can find better answers. We compete to push ourselves further. And yes, we've made mistakes, but we learn from them. We change, we grow. Change is dangerous, Zorath said. The Council prefers stability. But the universe isn't stable, Frank pointed out. Stars die, planets change, life evolves. Fighting against change is fighting against the nature of existence. Zorath was silent for a long moment. Then the alien made a gesture, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. It showed Earth spinning peacefully in space. Your planet has been under quarantine for less than one of your years. In that time, you have developed technology to bypass our barrier, made contact with the outsiders, and mounted a rescue mission. That saved Council lives. All this while respecting our rules enough to avoid direct confrontation. It is ... impressive. Ryan felt hope rising in his chest. Does this mean you'll reconsider our status? I am not authorized to remove the quarantine, Zorath said, but I am authorized to modify its terms and to make recommendations to the full Council. I believe this situation warrants review. It was more than Ryan had dared to hope for. A chance, a real chance for Earth to prove itself to the galactic community. What happens now? He asked. Now you will return to Earth with an escort. I will. Send representatives to meet with your leaders. We will establish proper diplomatic channels. And I will present this case to the full Council. Ryan looked at his crew, seeing the joy and pride on their faces. They had done it. They had shown the Council that humans weren't what they thought. High Inspector, Ryan said, thank you for being willing to reconsider. That's all we ask for, a fair chance. Zorath made a gesture that might have been a nod. Captain Cooper, in my 500 years as a Council Inspector, I have rarely been surprised. Your species has surprised me. Perhaps that is not such a bad thing after all? 3 days later, the Nova returned to Earth, escorted by a Council diplomatic vessel. The quarantine satellites remained, but now they allowed registered ships to pass through. Earth celebrated as the news spread. Humans were no longer prisoners in their own solar system. In the meeting room at Deep Harbor, Commander Eric Foster read the preliminary agreement that had been worked out with the Council representatives. Earth remains Category 4 for now, but with modified status. We can send ships to designated systems for trade and cultural exchange. Council representatives will live on Earth, and human representatives will join the Council observation posts. In time, if all goes well, our status may be fully reconsidered, Admiral Brown smiled. Not complete freedom, but a huge step forward. Well done, Captain Cooper. You and your crew have changed humanity's future. Ryan nodded, but his mind was already looking ahead. Earth had earned its place among the stars. The Galactic Council had been shocked into reconsidering their rigid views. And this was just the beginning. As he looked out the window at the night sky, Ryan thought about all the stars waiting to be explored. Humans were adaptable, creative, and compassionate. Those qualities had saved them from imprisonment and would guide them as they joined the wider galactic community. The universe was vast and full of wonders. And now, at last, humanity would have the chance to discover them all.